there's one comment I see about Gran Turismo 7 more than any other, that is always about the RNG and roulette system in game, and a lot of people saying it may just be the worst type of RNG that they've ever seen in any game period. And whilst for me I don't personally think it's as bad as something, let's say Battlefront 2 back in the day with its loot box systems, I do think it is perhaps one of the weakest systems, if not the weakest, in almost any racing game period, especially the mainstream ones. For me personally, what I think is so bad about the system is that it's been in place for 3 years, and honestly Polyphony has made almost no changes to it for the longest time. They did alter it slightly upon the game's launch and the whole controversy, and even at one point they put all the invites to open so that day one players could pretty much go and purchase any of the invite only cars. Speaking of the car invite system, something that completely discredits it is, well, the fact that you can openly purchase the likes of the Bugatti Chiron and the Aston Martin Valkyrie, but the Veyron and the Vulcan will remain completely locked off in the invite system. So it really is something that just doesn't make sense the longer that GT7 remains around. Also, shout out to the players who've been playing for almost 3 whole years and haven't got that last dealership invite to be able to complete their car collection. But over the last month or so of playing GT7, I've been saving up all of my daily marathon rewards. Anytime I've played, I've just kept the ticket in my garage so I can go ahead and test out just how broken this system is. I've got a total of 13 tickets. Now mainly they're made up of 3 and 4 star tickets. I do have a parts ticket in there as well, as that is also something I do want to talk about in a bit of detail, but overall we're just testing the system out to see in a typical month what a player might receive. Okay, so let's discuss the tickets then. I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of a level 50 player. I think most people that log on every day and want to get these tickets are probably level 50 by now, so let's begin then. Let's talk about the system itself. Is it really rigged? In a way, yes. So the higher the level of the player, the less chance there is to see some of these lower level tickets. And when it comes to a 1 and 2 star ticket, by the time you're level 50, you'll never see them again. That moves me into a 3 star ticket. Now at this point, this is the minimum you can ever see as level 50. Anything below that, you'll never ever see again. So let's move on to 4 stars, because I think this is the most notorious of the bunch. Sometimes it contains incredible prizes, the other time it's a complete throwaway ticket. So every now and again you might get a free car, maybe an engine swap, maybe even a dealership invite, some of the better stuff. However, I would say that maybe 80 to 85% of the time the stuff that's on the ticket is just absolute rubbish, and you'll probably receive anywhere from 10 to maybe 30,000 credits at most. Again, 4 stars probably the most notorious of the bunch. 5 stars you never really see. In fact, that's probably the rarest ticket in terms of my time with GT7. Overall, again, it's a step up from 4, can have some good rewards on it, but again, very hit and miss when you do receive one. 6 stars, again, can be hit and miss, but typically does include the better rewards in game. Sometimes it's engine swaps, sometimes it's free vehicles, upwards of 1 million credits. This can probably be, I guess, classed as the overall best ticket in GT7, and the one that you really want because it's more catered towards the player for giving better rewards and I guess rewards of more value. We then have a parts ticket, but again, this is perhaps the weakest ticket in the entire game. Whilst it's classified as a 6 star, unfortunately it is absolutely terrible, and most of the time your part will be for a car that you'll never ever use and be worth, let's say, 10 to 15,000 credits at most. Completely pointless, and you can't sell the parts. Then we also have the free car ticket. So again, that is from the weekly challenges, in which you are guaranteed a free car reward. Again, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And of course we have the 6 star engine swap ticket, which again can give you only engine swaps. Overall though, it is completely random what you will get from those engine swaps. Most of the time it will be one that you might never really want. Sometimes it will be absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, so here we are with my roulette tickets that I've got over the last month or so. Now, as you can see, the majority of them are 4 star. Again, I'm a level 50 player, so this is perhaps the most common ticket I will see. There's also a few 3 stars in there, which again, it's the worst possible reward I can get, as well as a 6 star parts ticket, which of course is perhaps the weakest of any of the 6 stars in the game, and I have no idea why they classify it as a 6 star. Maybe it's just because it's kind of unique. Okay, so let's get the worst possible out of the way. Of course, these are typically very, very bad tickets. In terms of the first one, we do have a few good rewards here. 500k and a million credits would be nice, as well as 2 cars for entirely free. But of course, we're going to end up with the minimum value reward. And again, this is a complaint that a lot of players have. So we're going to get a total of 5,000 credits. It probably wouldn't even be worth logging in just for that day to go ahead and get that ticket. Anyway, we're going to add that to the account. Let's move on to the second of these tickets and we'll go ahead and open it up. We'll also see how it differs in comparison to that first ticket, which did have some pretty decent stuff on there. And as you can see, once again, we have 2 cars which we could get for entirely free. We have 30,000 credits and of course 5k and 1k. And once again, for the second ticket in a row, we're going to end up with 5k, which on this ticket wasn't the minimum value reward. That would have been 1,000 credits, but again, incredibly rare that you'll ever receive that little. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up the final of these tickets. Now again, we can pretty much spot how rigged this one is going to be by actually seeing the contents that I've realized. Now as you can see here, there's what I think is classed as 1,000 credits in there, as well as 500k, and there's 3 different cars there ready to be collected, and we're actually going to land on perhaps the best possible reward apart from the money. So I would say this is the second best possibility on that single ticket. That is the Nissan Z Performance from 2023, valued at 69,000 credits in game, and overall is a very good tunable vehicle. So no complaints there. Might have just redeemed the 3 stars, but overall still not a great ticket. Okay, so now I'm going to open up perhaps the worst ticket of the bunch, probably one of the most notorious in game, and that is a 6-star parts ticket, to see just how bad these tickets are. Again, it is incredibly rare. Maybe 1 out of 10 of these that you receive, you'll actually get something you might want. Could be even more than 1 in 20. So as you can see here, it's going to land on the reward. It won't stay specifically for what car it's for until it opens up, but it has now is the Volkswagen Scirocco R titanium connecting rods and pistons, valued at 15,000 credits. Overall, this is a pretty terrible reward and pretty standard for this ticket. I really wish they'd just get rid of this one. Okay then, let's open up all 9 of my 4-star tickets to complete this round of the roulette wheel. So we're going to open up the first. Let's see what's here and available for us. 500k, that would be absolutely amazing. We also have the Challenger Demon on there, a very, very good car. And we're going to land on perhaps maybe the maybe second or third worst reward. That is going to be 30,000 credits. Perhaps the most obvious one that you'll ever get from a 4-star is this. Okay, so the second one, once again, a 4-star. All of these are going to be 4 stars. So let's see what is on this one. Again, when it comes to the roulette wheel, we do have an invitation here and a group for race car, as well as a parts once again. And actually, it's going to land once again on the exact same as last time, 30,000 credits. All right, so let's move on to the next ticket then. Let's see if we get any better luck. We've had 30k 2 times in a row, so let's see what's on this roulette wheel. We do have nitrous, we have a car invite, a Ferrari, and 1,000,000 credits. Now, is it going to land on 30k? It's just missed it, and we've actually got the nitrous oxide in this one. Let's see what this car's for. It's worth 100,000 credits, and it's for a race car, the Genesis X Group 3. Now, the problem with this is, yeah, that's all well and good, and it's a decent enough reward and saves a player a decent chunk of credits, but it's for a race car, and you'll probably know that a lot of events in GT7 outright decline the entrance of vehicles which have this equipped, especially in the higher level race car events. So unfortunately, completely pointless. Okay, for 4-star ticket, let's open it up and see what we have on offer here. The roulette wheel is going to appear. We once again have nitrous, we have a Group B rally car in there, and we have the Aston Martin invite, and it's just Mr. 30k once again, giving us the Aston Martin invite. I know a lot of people out there would, probably cut their left leg off to get this, but honestly, I don't find them that bad. However, admittedly, the one I get the most of is Ferrari, Aston Martin, and Citroen. The others, I don't really see it all, so I can understand people's frustration at just getting the right one at the right time. So the rewards so far, they've kind of been hit or miss. You're sort of seeing the inconsistency with the same exact ticket. So let's load up the 5th one, and here we go. We do have a GT3 Lambo, 500k on there as well in the gold bars, and a part, and that's exactly what it's going to land on. And well, this looks to be a high lift camshaft S, which it is, and it is for the Megane RS Trophy safety car. Yes, I don't know who's going to be upgrading the safety car, but there we go, we do have the high lift camshaft S for it if I want to use that. Ticket number 6 then, let's see if we get something good on here. We do have an engine swap available, we have 100k, and we do have the Jaguar F-Type, and it's actually going to be the car it's going to land on. Overall, that's not bad. It's not worth the most amount of money in the game or anything like that, but as an upgradable vehicle that makes a great sound and I think looks incredible, not a bad reward, but again, not worth too much in value. Last few tickets then, let's take a look what's on this one. We do have that Honda there, that is an extremely good car overall. I believe that is one of the kind of modified variants, but once again, just like the first 2 tickets, we're going to end up with 30,000 credits, so that does seem to be the most popular reward on the 4 stars. Okay, so the rewards haven't been too bad. Once again, we're getting a lot of 30k there, but it isn't available on this ticket. We have an engine swap, a part, and the Group 4 race car, which I'm looking at. We're actually going to end up with an engine swap, so that is giving us a nice variety off of these multiple tickets. This is the Audi R8 4.2 from 2007. Not a bad engine swap, but certainly not one of the best. Prior to the update, when they made engine swaps viable at level 50, people would have absolutely ripped their left arm off for this one, but again, we can just go ahead and purchase it. It's worth 183k. And here we go with the final ticket out of all 13 tickets. It's 500k, a million, a Group 4 race car, and a parts on here, as well as 30k again. It's going to go over 30k, and it's going to give us the part, unfortunately. So again, maybe the 4th best reward on here. It is for the Gredi Fugu Z, which is a very customizable car. I believe it's one of the SEMA award winners, and that part right there is worth 6.3k. So again, average if you ask me personally, but not too bad if you do want to be customizing that specific vehicle. So in conclusion, is Gran Turismo 7's roulette wheel really the worst RNG in almost any game ever? Absolutely not. But in terms of racing games, it is probably one of the most notorious and one of the worst, rightfully so. Not only do you have to get the chance of getting a certain ticket, which again, if you play all year round, you might only see maybe, you know, 4 like a 6-star tickets from a daily driving marathon all year, which is not great whatsoever. And then of course, when you actually open up those tickets, no matter what it is, your chance of actually getting a decent prize off it is incredibly low. And you've just seen there, I've opened up 13 tickets, and overall I would say there was maybe 1 or 2 decent prizes in there and some random cars and such thrown in. So unfortunately, yes, it is an incredibly rigged system, and unfortunately I don't think Polyphony will ever change it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care guys, peace.